Hey guys, it's Allie here. I'm excited to see you. I'm just feeling like there's a message that needs to be shared today. I'm gonna make sure this gets shared into the groups because I've been starting to see that more and more people are jumping in from the different groups and stuff. So as you guys hop on, say hello. I apologize if you can hear noise in the background. That would be my brother-in-law is playing some music in the shower, which is totally fine. I'm gonna get this shared in the groups though. So as you hop on, say hello. We are going live from here. This message has been like really loud and clear over the past like forever. Like, I mean, really like since I started coaching, to be totally honest, because as you guys know, I don't just do channeling and readings and stuff like that. I actually do a lot of coaching, and that is actually where I started. And it was actually coaching people on mindset work and doing my own mindset work that actually allowed me to open spiritually. It's really interesting. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about why this stuff is so important. Let me go live, get this in Ashley's group. And as you guys hop on, say hello. This is going to be a really powerful message for everyone. I am making sure it gets shared in a couple of groups. So as you hop on, say hello. Hey Brittany, hey Julie. Hi guys, it's Friday. We got the sparkles on again. I was like, maybe I should do another filter in the meantime while we're waiting, because I think this is going to be a super big topic. Here we go. I think this is going to be a really fun topic for everyone, because I have been seeing some really interesting themes going on. Yeah, you like that one? I love that one too. So this is a huge one, and what I was saying just a second ago is that I actually, a lot of people I think who are newer to me don't realize this, but what made my spiritual gifts open was actually the fact that for about 2 years prior to that, I'd say like we have like a lifetime of this, but I really had for about 2 years prior been dedicating myself to intense mindset work for like 2 years. I don't think it takes 2 years. I don't think it takes anything specific, but I had been really working on overcoming fears constantly and had gotten to this point where I believe that it allowed me to open up to very, high consciousness collectives and belief systems, and allowed my gifts to open in a really feel good way. Right? So that's a lot of what I continue to combine with my clients and with this mastermind that Ashley and I are bringing forward, and upcoming things we'll have that I don't want to get too into detail yet, but it's a lot of work on your mind. And what I keep feeling is that there's a larger message here, and I've seen it with clients for a long time. I see it in the entrepreneurial world. I see it pretty much everywhere. I see it in our parents. I see it in different generations, that we somehow keep allowing our perceived limitations, our perceived fears to stop us. Like, we are meant to be unchained, free beings, and that is what the teams and what Source tells me all the time. And Source is like kind of saying like, I'm part of you, like I am you, and I am free in nature. The only thing that makes you think that you are not free is that you're in a body. You're in a body, and you're in a body by your own choosing. You choose it, you co-create it every second of every day, but it does not have to tether you. You are actually an unchained soul. There's no reason for you to continue to believe that you are not free, that you are not unconditionally loved, that you cannot bring forth the things you want to bring forth into the world. It's really like a powerful message of love and light. And so what I keep feeling is that there's a lot of people that keep thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to move there. I'm not allowed to go visit there. I'm not allowed to invest in myself. I'm not allowed to take this course. I can't do that. It's not going to be worthwhile for me. You guys, you are meant to live like a boundless life, full of adventure, full of fun, full of ease. And the more you say no to yourself, the harder life feels, the more depressing life feels. Like, depression comes from a spiritual root, and that is believing that you are not loved, not worthy, and not free, which is total crap. The team is like, it's total shit. Like, it's not true. You actually are unconditionally freaking loved. There's no one that loves you more than you, and because you are source, and source loves unconditionally. So there's nothing you can do to bring yourself into a place of getting more love from others, getting more adventure from others. You need to create that from within. You need to empower yourselves to overcome fears and perceived limitations from within. Like, you really are in this lifetime and in a linear time frame to experience adventure. You're here to have experiences. You're here to transcend fear. You're here to live an unchained life. So allow yourselves to be that which you are, which is completely free. A lot of the time, I think we limit ourselves and we think, I can't do that. Again, like, I can't tell you how many times in my life I've told myself I'm not allowed. Like this trip to California that I'm taking in March, I kept telling myself, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. Like, I don't know. And I don't exactly have any meaning behind it, except that I know I have to go. That's why I booked the tickets, because I just know that I have to go. And I kept thinking, that's not a good enough reason, Allie. That's not a good enough reason. But they're like, Allie, your happiness is not a good enough reason? Really? Like, they're like, what do you think you came here to be if not happy? Right? Like, a lot of the time we don't say yes to ourselves when saying yes is part of the adventure. We keep saying no, I can't afford it. I think some people are actually shy about joining our mastermind because of girl wounding from the past and this need to isolate, this fear of rejection. Who the F do you think is going to reject you if you're the one rejecting yourself? You're rejecting you. So like, the adventure is always, it's not always about traveling. It's not always about moving to a certain place. It can be. It's not, adventure to me is not always jumping out of a plane or, zip lining in a rainforest, which I've done. It's really fun. But I'm just saying, like, adventure starts in your heart. It starts with following your heart over your head. It starts with not second guessing yourself anymore, trusting yourself that you're going to be completely free to do anything you want. It comes from not living in fear of what other people might think, of what you're going to think, of failing, of falling on your face, of being embarrassed, of losing all your money, losing all your friends, ending up in a cardboard box, like, it's insane, I think, like, how often we live according to fear, and we keep saying no to experiences and saying, oh, I think this is the most loving thing for me. I do trust you guys to know, but I also can tell when someone's coming from fear. I just know. Like, I just know when there's fear there. And we're in a human experience, so there's almost always going to be some fear. So what I believe we're here to do is to walk through the fear. Literally walk through it so that we're facing it, seeing it, and soaring despite it. Because how are you going to get over your fears besides just looking at them head on? And actually, a lot of like what I do with my clients is mindset work, and that's what this whole mastermind is about, is transcending your fears. Transcending your fears, because how do you think people go and live fantastic lives? They stop living in fear and they start saying, what makes me happy? What would I like to do to nourish myself, to center myself, to give myself a wild experience, to be present with myself, to be present in life is an adventure. To allow yourself to have an imagination is an adventure. That's also how you connect to spirit a lot of the time. I want to know, what adventures have you guys been thinking of, that have you been dreaming of forever? What are you guys launching your site? I will tell you one thing that I tell all of my clients: you don't need a website to do business. Stop waiting till the website's done. I tell people that all the time. You don't have to wait for a site. You need a PayPal link and a scheduling link if you have a one-on-one business, and that's it. That is it. That's it. So you can have the site. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be magnificent. I love having my sites, but I'm not stopping myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I could tell anyone anything, don't wait until you have until. And that's one of the fears. That's one of the ways we keep ourselves safe. No, I want to look, like, I've heard so many people make so many excuses about, like, why I'm not going on this trip, right? Why I'm not putting my business out there, why I'm not making this shift, why I'm not talking to spirit, why I'm not inviting God in, why I'm not loving people more, why I'm not diving into that relationship that I'm head over heels for, why I'm not putting myself out there on dates, like why I'm not, you know, painting my nails the color I want to, you know, there's a million adventures in every single moment, but you have to choose to be in that type of freedom and to let go of the fears a little bit, or at least walk head first into them and say, fuck it. It all comes on the other side of fuck it. I'm going to go do it. So what are some of the adventures that you guys are really, really wanting, that you've been dreaming of, that you want to go, you want to do? It could be a relationship, a business thing, a non-business thing, a spiritual thing, an emotional adventure you want to take, a vision quest. It could be reading a book that you know what I mean, you really want to read. It could be moving to a new place, leaving or entering a relationship. What is it? What have you guys been really wanting? Is it jumping out of a plane? Is it going swimming in the ocean? Is it skinny dipping? Like, I want to know, what's the adventure? What are the things that you're like, I've always wanted to do that and I just haven't given myself permission yet. I've been talking myself out of it, telling myself it's not possible. I'm going to talk you through it right here. Tropical vacation by myself. Why the F not? Why not? Why don't you deserve that? Why don't you deserve a tropical vacation by yourself? Love starts within. Can't give love to other people, can't get love from other people if you're not giving it to yourself. Give yourself the tropical vacation. In the least, start to go there in your mind. Start to co-create it in your mind. Start to get into the feel of it in your mind. Start to allow it in your mind. Put it out there to the universe and detach and allow pieces to come in. It's up to you to say yes. It's up to you to say yes all the time. So why do you think you can't take a tropical vacation by yourself? Okay, Brittany. Why do you think you can't invest in yourself? Why do you think that's not allowed? Money comes in, money comes out. It's meant to be in flow at all times. It's not meant to be stockpiled. Why do you think you can't invest in yourself? Why do you think you can't give yourself permission to go for it? Why do you think that that's not allowed for you? Why do you think you're not allowed to go live? Why do you think that going live is too scary, or it's not going to be good enough, etc.? Trying to find the delete button. Okay, is the lack of money real? Because I don't think there's any lack of money in the world. And money's not the only resource either. A lot of times we focus on money and we forget that we're the money. Like we're our own, we need to play our own lotteries. You know what I mean? Like I had that thought again this morning. I had that come in and download, and I was just like, man, you know, I want to play my own lottery more and stop relying on everything outside of myself. Like, how great would life get if we stopped thinking I had to go win some lottery out there and bank on that? If I could just play my own, I'd win every time. Can't get it wrong, you know? So like, remember when we feel lack of anything, that's perception. It's fear-based. It makes us believe we're not free to do as we need to and want to, which is not true. There's no one but you saying no to you. There's no one but you saying no to you. If you say yes to yourself, others saying no or yes doesn't matter. And usually they start to mirror our anchored self-worth. I will say that for sure. I've noticed that pattern. When I'm more sure in myself and I'm letting go and I'm accepting my freedom and I'm sending unconditional love to myself and to others, I notice it mirrored back a lot more. So it's not just financial things, it's emotional things as well, conversations going better, a lot of those things. I want to go somewhere fun with my son to just spend one-on-one time together. Okay, why not? Why is that not possible? Why would that adventure not be beautiful? Why is that not possible? Yeah, lack mindset draws more lack, and it also perceives only lack. And perception is everything, and that's not true. So, I mean, if abundance is everything, then your perception just needs to change to see all the abundance that is already there. And then, of course, more opens up. Yeah, so I want to know, so where is the fear of going live? And where's the fear of the vacation coming in? Why not? Like, why are we saying no to going on a vacation? Why are we saying no to going live, right? Because a lot of the time it's a fear of, oh, people are going to judge me for doing this thing. It's a fear, again, of lack. Like, all fear is based in lack. It's all based in lack. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, all fear is based in lack, and there actually is no lack. You know? Yeah. So, like, a lot of the time it's really us misperceiving, but we aren't actually in that lack, right? Like, when we recognize, yeah. Oh, Julie, I wish I could dig up my first live stream. I bet I could. It was when my hair was short. It was when Finn was really little. I was shaking. I used to have social anxiety disorder, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, you will survive it. And in fact, we need to walk head first into the fears. So if you're thinking about taking a tropical vacation, I want you to start researching it. If you're thinking about investing in yourself, or whatever way that you're thinking about investing in, I want you to start researching it. I want you to start researching it. I want you to start looking into the real abundance ways, because it's not, oh, I can't, like, a lot of times we talk ourselves out of the adventures that we want to have right away. I can't do it. And then we just write it off, and we just sit there. And that, can I just ask you guys, how does that feel? When I say no to something I really, really want, it feels like shit. Like, you feel the lack inside of you, and you realize, wow, I am really misperceiving my own inner badassness. Like, I'm really misperceiving my own inner power. It's not gone away. This, like, it's literally a call to love yourself more. Literally. Every desire is a call for love. Every desire. And you can answer every desire and give yourself what you want. Like, you're allowed to do that, because it reinforces in your mind, I'm worthy of having the experiences I want. Like, there's some people who they don't struggle with this stuff very much. Like, they just call it in. They just start to call it in. And the second they know they want something, it just starts to unfold for them. One, they see it. Two, they open up to it, and they know that it'll work itself out somehow. They don't have to know all the hows. So I want you guys to start really reinforcing for yourself, I'm worthy of having every experience and every adventure that I want. I'm free. A lot of this is like believing we're not free, believing we are tethered to some unwritten rule or expectation of us in society, and that we bought into, right? So we think, like, I'll tell you, when I was gonna book my trip to California, I thought, oh, I'm not allowed to leave my son for a week. What are you gonna do? Not take a vacation till the kid moves out of the house when he's, 18? No, like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Never be apart from him till he's 18, and then all of a sudden he's like, I don't know what life is like without mommy next to me every day. No, Allison. So I literally sat there and was like, well, this is not gonna serve anyone for me to say no. And what does it reinforce? I started to really think about, what does this reinforce for Finn when I say no to myself? He's not worthy of having what he loves either. When he goes and gets married, if he marries a woman or gets in a relationship with a woman, what do I want him to see in her? I really thought about that stuff. What do I want him to want her to have? I want them both to be endlessly fulfilled. And they're not like, I want him to have, a wife or a partner or a husband, whatever, a girlfriend, boyfriend, that he's saying, yeah, I want you to go do your stuff. I want you to have fun. I'll come with you. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I want. But we have to say yes. We have to say yes over and over and over to ourselves. Yeah, no, Brittany, I got it. I know what you mean. The lens through which you're seeing the situation. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about like I don't want to get too into how, but it's not about it not happening. It's saying it is possible and it is unfolding. It's already happening. If it's in my head and I want it, it is possible. and it's meant to be. Yeah. Yeah. Big quantum leaps. Like, I keep seeing everyone standing on like this cliff and like getting ready to jump into the ocean. I had this feeling today, and I was talking to some of collective consciousness of guides that I work with named Ananda, which is actually Sanskrit for bliss, which is kind of cool. They work with another person, and then I got introduced to them. Like, they came into my consciousness because I was like aware of this other person's channelings of them. I don't know how to explain that. Kind of like how like Eric has worked with a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like, he just keeps getting introduced to people through different channels, you know? So what happened is I was sitting there and I was like, man, I really hate this feeling of like I'm going alone sometimes. And they were like, you're never alone. And I looked next to me and there were all these people just lined up, and we were all walking at the same pace, like together. And they said, you know, the illusion and the reason a lot of the time, a lot of people think that they're having to make these big quantum leaps into investing in themselves or going on the adventure, because life is supposed to be an adventure. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be this untethered, boundless existence where there's no box. There isn't even any. They're like talking about if you could just change your perception and you could realize that you are so free, because source is free, therefore so are you. You would be living completely different lifestyles. You would not have the rules, restrictions, obligations, and attachments that so often plague your relationships and love lives. You would not have those around your parental relationships. You would not be living in blame or shame. You would not be seeking to gain or to seek all the time. You would feel endlessly fulfilled, and everything you do would be simply because you enjoy it. And you would not say no to what you enjoy. You would not say yes to what you don't enjoy. You would take full ownership and responsibility of your own self-love and self-light. And you would understand that what you give only grows inside of you. So you cannot have lack. They're saying it is not real. They're saying when you give, all that happens is this. Like, you just keep. So I'm giving someone love. I love you guys. It doesn't go like this and then it's gone from me. They're saying it just grows inside of you. It grows and grows. And I was practicing, they had me practicing this morning, where I was sitting there journaling, and they said, we want to make a celebration list. Let's celebrate all of the wins you had. I was like, wins? And of course I came up with material things that I was seeing in my world, right? Like, at first I was like, oh, you know, I brought in this much money the last month. I far surpassed my goal. That feels really good. And they were like, great, on to the next. They were like, that's great. Recognize it all. But they were like, okay, let's go deeper, dude. So like, I started going into everything. I was like, you know, I had a great, you know, Carson was totally cool with me talking about going to California. He didn't object once. And they said, okay, so let's go deeper. What reinforced that experience? What brought you forward into that experience? And I said, well, I was willing to send him love and to understand that it was an act of love for me to go and to love him unconditionally no matter what he said. And they said, bingo, bingo. What you gave, you received, because you grew inside of it together. You grew inside of it together. So there was no pushback. There was no, he didn't even go, oh, but what dates? And I don't know. Like, he was just like, oh, I suppose we could get so-and-so's mom to watch Finn. It should be okay. I was like, I mean, my eyes literally had that sparkle. Like, like, I was like, cool. Like, I went upstairs and was like, I just like almost cried. Because I was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just gotta like start to take the little leaps. Yeah, good. First, practice reading. Yeah, like those things are feeling like big jumps into the ocean right now. But actually, like, the more and more you do those things, the more you're like, oh yeah, remember that thing when I thought that was like a huge leap and now it's just like part of my everyday. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I remember the first time I did like one of my first public channelings, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. And then it was with Eric in the Woo Collective. And it was hilariously fun. And like 30 people got on and I was like, okay. And that was, I mean, this, you know, 30 people, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, I never had that many people on a thing before, I don't think, like of that sort, you know, like, so it's like you start and it feels like a big leap the first time, but then soon you're traveling the world, soon you're bringing in more money, soon you're making money with your gifts, and soon you're going and volunteering, or you're going and volunteering in that refugee camp, or you're writing like book after book, or you're on the podcast that you always wanted to be on, soon you're adopting the kids you always wanted to adopt, or you're putting forth things into the world that you never thought you'd put forth into the world. Soon you're passing new legislations for GMO-free products. Soon you're, you know what I mean? Soon you're opening your own animal rescues. Like, there just is no limit. Soon you're the one going in the bodybuilding competition. They're like, make nothing wrong. Make nothing wrong, you know? Soon you're running that you're doing that triathlon that you thought you would never be able to do. They're like, from couch potato to 5K. like, it's like it's all of a sudden you're just doing the things. Soon you're taking yourself on the retreat, you know, soon you're going on the solo trip and saying yes and saying, of course I deserve to do that. That's why I came. And they're like, and the cool part is, the more you do that, the more high frequency you are, the more you magnetize more abundant experiences and loving and fun and enriching, like Ananda's saying, enriching experiences to you, because that's what you came here for. It's why you're in a linear time frame, is to change and shift and grow and enhance over time. They were like, that is the ascension. That's all it is. It's a return to love. And you can't return to love if you're constantly using your mind to make decisions instead of your heart and your gut. They're like, actually, your gut's more adequate than your mind. Than your mind, yeah. Like, a lot of you guys, when you catch yourself saying yes to something and then backing out of it, when you catch yourself wanting something and then second guessing it, stop second guessing it and just go for the want. Ashley and I were both actually talking about yesterday. We got on Zoom, and the person we were supposed to chat with had to cancel at the last minute, so she and I just stayed on Zoom and talked for an hour about like life and stuff. And we were both saying the first time we ever invested in ourselves, the first mastermind I invested in was $18K. Ours is not, it's $7K and has a retreat included. But mine was $18K, hers was over 20. And we both said, you know, part of it, like a huge thing that made a difference and just busted our shit wide open and helped us get over massive fears, was just saying yes and not caring about where that money was going to get made up. Mine's already been made up many times over. I mean, it's like, it wasn't about the money. It was about us. It was about saying yes to us. Like, you know what I mean? It was about saying, yeah, of course, the money will show up. The money always works itself out. It's not about the money. And all the intangible things that came out of those masterminds, like lifelong friends, you know? And like, I was thinking about it the same way when I first hired my mindset coach that I had for almost 2 years. Like, I had no idea I was going to go through a spiritual awakening, but I know that saying yes to her and investing, I mean, her rates were actually at the time more than mine were. Like, hers were like $600 a month. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, I wonder if I'll be charging this someday. You know what I mean? And like, now it's, you know, it's just different. Like, it's like that mindset work prepared me for my spiritual awakening. I don't think I would have been able to come to this awakening without all of the fears had I not been working on my freaking head and getting my head to start to move out of the way more and more. I'm not going to say it's like I never second guess or overanalyze, but I move out of my own fucking way faster. And when I say I mean the personality, the ego of Allison moves out of the way for source to come in and say yes all the time. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I see like people who are saying yes to themselves, and I think a lot of us have this judgment of them. Like, we start to go, well, she can do it because she doesn't have this. She doesn't have kids, or, well, she just knows how to make money, or she just knows how to run business better than I do, or she's a better channel. Man, if people knew I just started channeling 1.5 years ago, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't think I'm a better channel than anyone. We're all fucking channels all the time. We're all source. You're channeling source every day. That's it. All you have to do is be cool with that. So it's like, I think like a lot of people will look and they'll compare. Like, I can say I've held myself back from publishing books because I'm like, but this person's book is better. You know what I mean? Like, how many times do we say no because we're comparing and contrasting, and that little ego voice inside of us says, you're not going to be good enough. People aren't going to like you. They're going to judge you. all that nasty ass shit that just is not true. It's just not true. And you know how you get over it? You just start saying yes, little by little, or, and God always comes in all at once or all at once. So what adventures are you committing yourselves to saying yes to? I want to know, are you going to go book a trip? Are you going to at least go research the flights and look it up and say, maybe I could work this out? A couple of years ago, Carson and I, we really wanted to go to Italy and we wanted to take Finn. And I was like, I want to go for 2 weeks. I know what cities I want to go to. You know, I don't know what it is. I want to have this experience and I want to figure it out. Now, do you think I would have been able to go to Italy had I not even looked at the flights? Me looking at the flights was like me saying yes. You know what I mean? I started to say, I can make this work. Let's find a way. There's always a way. The universe will find the way for you. And a way appeared. A way appeared. You know, when I started my business and I wanted to quit my job, it was a huge leap for me to say, I worked so hard and spent so much time trying to prove myself in these full-time jobs and marketing agencies and up my skills and be the best employee. And I was so fucking unhappy in the 40, well, let's be honest, like 60-hour work week. I was so unhappy, especially after I had Finn. I had this massive awakening of I do not want to live in a cubicle any fucking more. And I don't want Finn to do the same. And I know that there are people out there who feel the same way as me, who know they belong outside in the sunshine, who know that they belong working on creative projects that they love and doing what they love all damn day. Like, that's gotta be possible. I had it in my head. Just by sitting there and going, I'm gonna put in my notice, and just by talking to my husband and saying, I know that I can do this, I said yes. And you know what happened? He lined up and supported me. Like, even though, you know, we're not gonna be together forever and we are working through a separation right now, I still will always appreciate the fact that he was like, yes. But I had to say yes first. I had to say yes. I had to make the leap for my job. You know what I mean? Like, I had to say yes to those things first, or no one was going to say yes to me. Nothing was going to say yes to me because I wasn't putting that out there into the universe. And here's a hint. The universe is not just out there. It's in here. It starts in here. You know, it's all in here. It's all in this area, right? Like, you are the universe. So you have to say yes to yourself all the time, all the time. So yeah, Mariah started to do the research. When we went to Italy, I started looking at the flights and I went, Carson, it's not bad. They're only $2,000. We could pay that off in like a year. And he was like, we could pay that off in 6 months. No big deal. And then I was like, okay, so how can we make this even better? And I started to look at different blogs. Like, I was really about like not spending a ton of money. And he was like, honey, if we're going to Italy, we're not just going to go to the supermarkets unless we want to have fun or do something like we just want to check them out. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to order the wine. We're going to order the food. And we're going to stay in, like, I found cute apartments on Airbnb that were cheaper, but like super updated, that had laundry, you know, like I was like, yes, we made this work. Like, it all fell into place. Every single thing always falls into place. And that's what we keep saying to people about this mastermind. You have to say yes to yourself. Money is never the thing. We are the thing. We are the resource. We are. Okay? So like when I'm thinking about, you know, I want to hire this coach or that coach, it was never about like the mastermind that I joined. It was 48 hours and I had signed the contract. Like the coach that I worked with for 2 years, I was like, I don't know how this money's going to come in, but it will. And it did. Several times over. Like it just appears. The ways come to you. They come to you over and over and over. And that coach is still one of my best friends. Like, she's like one of my buddies. So it's like the ways always show up, but you have to say yes. You saying yes, it doesn't just create new ways. It helps you see all the opportunities that are already there, right? And I will tell you right now, if you're like, well, I can't go to this vacation, I will tell you, I hear this a lot. It's not just money. People say, I don't have time. I don't have time to be in this program. I don't have time to read that book. I don't have time to work on my spiritual gifts. I don't have time to build my own business. I don't have time. I'm like, you make time for what you prioritize. You make time for what you love. You gotta say yes to yourself. Like, you gotta start. And if you need to start small, start small. But I'm telling you, a lot of times ripping off that one big Band-Aid helps so much. It helps so much. Like, I can't tell you how good I feel about going to LA, and I wasn't even going for business. I was just going for myself. And now all of a sudden I have all these people messaging me saying, yeah, I want to come to your meetup. Are you really going to do a meetup? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things just open up to you. They just start to fall into place, and you go, oh, okay, I just had to say yes. I had to say yes first. So what are you going to go say yes to? What are you going to research? What are you going to look into? And make, like, say if money was no object, because it's not, it is not your only resource. It's definitely not. And I hate that in our society we think money's the only resource. That's called being unresourceful. So money is not the resource, and it's not the real reason. So if you were going to say yes to yourself and say, I'm an untethered fucking free soul and I love myself and I want to have these experiences because they're fun. I don't need to have another reason. I don't need to have a goal. And I'm telling you guys, you do not need to have a goal for everything. The goal, the objective, the reason you're doing things will reveal itself. It will reveal itself. And it feeling good and feeling expansive is enough. Because you deserve to be happy right now where you are. Some of you are like, I'm just going to start to go on adventures in my own mind. And I'm like, fucking cool, man. Because you go in your mind, it's going to start to manifest in your world. So what are you guys committing to? What are the adventures you are going to take yourselves on? So I'll tell you like one thing too, like we've had people kind of saying, well, the mastermind payment plan, it starts at $1,000 the first payment, and then you could pay $7,000 in full and save some money. But then they're like, it's $777 per month for the next 8 months. You guys, that's 4 readings. All I would have to do to pay for my own mastermind would be to book 4 one-hour readings every month. Just 4. And I do that every month already. So I want you to start to think about it. Okay? Really start to think about it. That money, to invest in that, or to pay for those $2,000 flights to go to Morocco, or to pay for that hotel that you want to go stay in, or that backpacking trip you want to take, or that skydiving mission you want to go take, or you want to take your kids to Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go take a cooking class. Start to get freaking crafty. You guys are gifted. You're skilled. You got moves. They're like, you guys got the goods. Like, you guys have the Midas touch. You guys do. No one's going to give it to you. You have to say, yeah, here's what I can do. I'm willing to do this because it's fun. You know what I mean? It can literally come from infinite sources. Infinite sources. And it can come like that. It's never the money. And you will always make time for and prioritize what is really a priority for you. So say yes to you. Like, say yes to you. And I know that a lot of people are going to be going, that's selfish. How do I get over the selfishness of that? Because I'm not sure. You know what I mean? And what I would say is, again, like, I think we have these indoctrinated beliefs that it's not okay to say yes to ourselves and that it's selfish. However, if you're not serving yourself, then you're saying yes to everyone else. Why is it okay for everyone else to be selfish and to be served, but not you? When you don't serve yourself and you don't take care of yourself, you have like, it's like you get to this point where you're just so burned out emotionally and mentally and spiritually, you know, may as well just sit in your house because you don't feel worthy and you feel tapped out. That's where real burnout comes from. Those feelings of unworthiness. So what are you guys saying yes to? I'm not seeing a lot of comments. What adventures are you guys saying yes to? What is the thing you've been wanting to do? Have you been wanting to go to Banff? Have you been wanting to take your family on a trip? Have you been wanting to go on a solo trip? My first solo trip was to Breckenridge, and it was just a long weekend, and I freaked out on the way up there. And I'm telling you, I didn't turn the car around. I just kept going. I was like, it's only 90 minutes away. If something happens, I can get back home. That was a major trust exercise for me with leaving my son and trusting that I would be fine because it wasn't about him. It was about me. It was about me being afraid to be alone, me being afraid to say yes to myself. It was a huge turning point for me. So what are you guys saying yes to? I want to see your comments. What are you saying yes to? So I saw Mariah is going to look at flights. Do it. I want to know, Julie and Brittany, what are you guys saying yes to? What are the adventures that have been on your mind that you are going to say yes to? Even if it's just a first step, I'm going to look at a flight, I'm going to look up a hotel, I'm going to look up travel times. Like I'm going to, my next yes is a coach to a mindset gift opener. So go and start looking up coaches. Go and start looking them up. Don't pay attention to the fees. Go and start looking up people. I'm telling you, I'm actually hunting for a coach right now too. I actually have a couple of people that keep coming into my awareness that I'm like, So what are you guys saying yes to? Yay, thanks Hannah. Yeah, because everything's on the other side of fuck it. It all works out in the end. And if there's anything I keep hearing from these spiritual beings, it's, man, if I had known. If I had known. Like it's not like from a regret place, but it's like what they want us to know. Like the Paul channeling, that was huge for me. It was monumental for me to have those messages come through from him about not letting fear stop you. And how do you think I could have done any of the things I had done as myself had I said and talked myself out of it or told myself I couldn't do it or let my fear hold me back? Yay, Hannah. So what's the next thing you're saying yes to, Hannah? That's awesome, Amy. Go for it. That's awesome, Melanie. I have an Infinitely Wise Woman program that's on a wait list right now because it's in session right now. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. It's all about opening your gifts and learning to channel. And they're channeling like badasses in there. Like they're all they're all like way opening up and they've been practicing a lot. What else? What else are you guys saying yes to? Because you can literally do anything. You literally can do anything. And a lot of people think I can't. You literally can. Literally. Like my team has been talking to me about some of like the exciting things I've been thinking about are bilocation and telekinesis. And they were like, yeah, that shit's possible. People do it. So it's possible, you know? All right, I'm not seeing anything else, so I'm actually gonna hop off. I'm gonna go see Finn before he goes to class. Yay, and if you're interested in the mastermind or in working together privately, let me know. We do have the retreat and all that fun stuff in Hawaii. Yay, book writing is a lot of fun, so well done. You can also, and PM me too if you need help. You can do Amazon publishing pretty easy, Amy. So let me know if you guys have more questions, if this resonated with you. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments on the replay. I will come back soon. All right.